All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting it done. We got the conduit into the box. The cables are just down at the bottom. I have another one of these boxes, just a little smaller, for just one line instead of combination. It'll go for the other end of this cable run in the house. I had a notification that came yesterday. I got to check with the post office, make sure it really did. Just because they say it doesn't mean that it always is like that. 98%, 99, is pretty close, but sometimes they just fool you. Got the other one over here. This one's not. This one's just an entryway for the conduit. Just keeps the horses honest, is what it comes down to. They like to chew on stuff and bite, pull, that kind of thing. And I got the ground cable done, like I was saying, is the just use the cap to cover the conduit and then drill the hole about the same size as that sleeve, that insulated sleeve. Put that that room temperature vulcanization (RTV) silicone, and I need to mash down little silicone blobs at the back of the box. That junk gets everywhere. That's horrid. But got to put the face plate and the covers in. Eventually, this line is when the panels come. This line will be gone, and the much smaller. But that way, I didn't have to bring the fish back out and stuff like that. I left it in, is what I'm saying. But the much smaller 10 gauge wire. This is 6 years, so about about the same room that wire is going to take up. The other two will pass through with no problem. But get that done. And I won't utilize any of the panel. This is the one that was inside that the breaker burned up on. We got that EMP strike, killed the breaker. But I'm just reusing the box. It's weather. It's not like IP67. It's not waterproof, but it's weather resistant enough. All these lines that come in here are going to have an MC4 connector, which will look like this at the bottom. These solar connectors that are at the bottom. I can't get my finger. There we go. Hit right there. That's for two different ones. The little bumps that are on there are just for wires to come out of the unit. It's just redundant, waterproof, but the plastic is. I mentioned it last time, and it's a real thing because last night we got wind here, pretty severe. Y'all been getting it across the nation here lately, but it's common up here. And anytime if the panels are in full sun, if they're going to die, it'll be when the wind is blowing the hardest. That's when they're going to fail. I'm not saying that they're not going to have grass fires and other kinds of stuff. I'm just saying that when crap's going to happen, it's going to happen, fairly quick. But just use what you can, afford what you can. Don't get, silly or nothing like that. Because that's just like this box here. Let's back that on a little bit. Is this box is I ordered it the first time like the last week of May. And then I had to reorder it, and then had to reorder it again. And it was barely, the original one was barely big as this box in here. It was just to nest the two of them together. And I was actually thinking about pulling the guts out of this and putting it into the other box to get what I wanted. In the But it worked out where I didn't have to do that, is what I'm trying to get at. But when I reordered it, they gave me the option to buy this one, which was probably at double the price, more than double the price, 3 times the price. And but it was for no more money. Just if I wanted to keep the order going, I could get it. It was like, well, yeah, it's not quite as deep on the Z-axis as it was on the X and Y, but it works perfect. I mean, the door shuts and everything. The other one just had little latches on the side. This one actually has little locks. I got it tilted just enough to hold the door open. It won't hold it open in the wind, but it's just open. It's tilted just enough to make the nuisance of the door, swing that way. Is what I'm trying to get at. If you can tell, I got a little line up here that shows level. You probably can't see that in the sun, but it shows level. It's not far off, is what I'm trying to get at. It's just a fraction, just enough to make the door swing. But like I said, I got to check with the post office today, and the other box is just like this, but just smaller. Even it's only half of the breakers and everything, lightning suppression, and it'll go on the other end of the house. At the corner, there's another ground stake that it'll be attached to at the other end of this 100-foot run, 80-something foot run. Anytime you get up around 100 feet, what you're worried about is not so much the lightning striking these racks anymore. The racks, every leg, well, if they're done right, put it that way, every leg is in through the dirt. The concrete is just a sleeve as like a weight around the leg. But the leg penetrates into the earth. Then there's a ground rod next to it that's driven 10 feet deep, that's underneath the soil even. It's down probably another 6 inches. But the lightning strike that you're worried about is like from here to the house and getting hit in the middle, because these will be free of, the electrons will be allowed to flow backwards into the ground. That section won't be. And anything that the winds get a hold of that's where the excess electrons build up on, and that's why you got to drain it back to ground. That's what the ground rods are all about, y'all. I've heard some truly, truly bizarrely silly shit when it comes to ground rods. Oh, it'll attract light, and wow, y'all have got it real wrong. You want ground rods, and you want like at least one on each end of a 100-foot run. So if you got a bunch, you need to add a few. If you live in any kind of sand, like we got rain the other day, and so all this is packed in the silt, which is nice, but this is not the normal. We normally have about feet of dry sand and dry silt here, and you need the longest rod that you can get. The longest lightning rod is what I'm trying to get at. If your area only has 8-footers and you're in sand, there's a coupler that you can buy, a stainless steel coupler that'll hook those rods together. I just strongly, if a lightning rod isn't protecting or isn't doing what it's supposed to be, the ground rod, it's because you don't got it down where there's moisture in the ground. That's the deal. If they fail, it's because you didn't do it right. I mean, that's just what it is. The orange deals in the box are lightning suppression. I didn't do it yet, but I was thinking of even adding a one-time midnight. Well, these are one-time as well. But a one-time midnight, if these aren't enough, is stepping up to the midnight lightning suppression. It's separate, but it'll work even more so. But nothing is 100%. And anybody that says that, they're just spoofing your ass. They're just taking you like a circus clown salesman. Don't believe that. Don't hold me to this, but I believe that a lightning bolt is like 100 to 300 million volts of electricity. It has 1 billion joules of energy, watts of energy. Dude, the best lightning suppression, the best it's an acronym like SFD or something like that. It just means suppression, lightning suppression. But the best one they offer is maybe 500 joules per segment, per leg. And you're dealing with a bolt of electricity that's 1 billion. But like I said, it's not going to hit this rack like a direct strike. And if it does, ain't none of that shit going to help. I mean, it'll save you money, but are they always worth their weight? Yeah, they are worth their money. But it's not going to stop you from being hit and crap being blown up or burnt up or trashed or whatever. It will cut the service to the house so it won't follow it in. It'll probably save your inverters, your charge controller, all that kind of stuff, which is several $1,000s in this project. The panels themselves, because they're grounded, unless you get like an EMP like I did last year, or no, year before last. It's been a couple years. I'd have to ask Pete. I don't remember it so well, but it put a lasting impression in his mind because I had to get out in January sliding around or wherever, whenever it was. It was cold, it was wet, and it was snowing that day. Um, it could have been April. We get snow. I mean, I just said January. It was cold, is what I was trying to get at. Cold, wet, and snowing. And but I was getting around trying to get that one panel that had blown out of the circuit because it derailed my MPPT. Didn't hurt it. Okay, it saved. Like I said, if you do the ground rods right, you're going to save the equipment, the expensive equipment. Yeah, you might lose a couple $100s in lightning suppression. It's better than a few thousand, y'all. That's all I'm trying to say. Especially when it comes to these lithium batteries. You don't want to blow up BMSs and stuff like that or even do cell damage. It's another reason why all my batteries are in metal boxes. Just for that. When lightning hits out here, we get it so very rare. Like in Arkansas, you might get your yard, your immediate yard, where you could throw a stone and hit trees. You might get 2 or 3 lightning strikes in a storm, per storm. We might get 2 or 3 lightning strikes in a year up here. We're like above the majority of that. But when it does hit, oh man, does it mess stuff up. So prepare for it is what I'm trying to get at. And you're not trying to deal with the billion joules because that's not dealable. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. If it's a direct strike, your crap is going to happen. But like where it hits in between here and the house, and then it puts a surge in the line and it goes both ways, that's what you're protecting it. And that it can do because it won't have that much energy in saturation. There's terms for all this, y'all, and I don't remember them. I used to. Like ground current and then step, or maybe it's step current and then ground something or another. It just all refers to, Google that is what I'm trying to get at. Google, don't never rely on what I say anyways. Google everything twice over, do your own research. Because I had 2 truck wrecks. I'm a 2-time Savant winner. It doesn't mean that you're brilliant. It just means that you forget shit. Okay, that's what it really means. You might have some epiphany somewhere, like I did with the hemp or whatever. It doesn't mean that you're no genius by no means. But is what it is, y'all. I still got a few more things. Like I've got the lock nuts for these U-bolts to suck them in tight, even though they got the blue Loctite on them. I'd rather them not, wiggle free a couple years from now when I forget about them. And that's the 2 things about my truck wrecks is I have like 0 short-term memory. Even if I start a video and then have to stop it, it screws the next one up so bad because I think I've already said it in the video that I'm in. It's bad. But like I said, I've been trying to keep it is like NECA, NEMA. There's a bunch of words that mean the National Electric Code. And I've been trying to be above that, if I can. The NEC code or NEMA codes are just the bare minimum. Y'all can go better than that if you want to keep your stuff from like derailing. And again, the metal boxes are just to keep like a plasma arc. If it goes over or whatever, and if these fail. Do I see that? No, it's really redundant. And there's going to be line fuses before it gets to this, is what I'm trying to get at. So it should be fine. But it keeps the fire potential. The desert is so fragile. It's beautiful out here, but man, you get some Gumbies that just set it on fire. That's just what it is. And you can't do that. So. All right, y'all, we're going to cut it short. And I hope this is not like whatever, I hope that everything is going good for everybody is what I'm trying to get at. Let me get you another view here from a different angle. The It's the 1st of August. Nope, the door's. That was the best angle the other day before I put the door back on it. I've just been getting done with this. Is what I'm trying to get at. Yep, forgot what I was going to say. It's not real. Just try to do it the best you can. You're not going to save nothing but your own money. That's the real, whatever, however you say that word. I can't even say it now. The reality of it. There you go. I couldn't get it out. What you spend now is you're just going to save your money later. Oh yeah, I remember now. It's the 1st of August, or right about, I think, the last day of July. Actually, to be honest, it's like the last day of July. And within a couple days I'm going to order the panels and I'm going to order the batteries. And in this project, it'll be a lot more done. I got to make sure that this box right here for the inside of the house is here before I order it. I'll check on that today, and I got a couple more little small pieces, like cable holders, stuff like that, that are coming still, but they're within days of getting here. The panels would, the other stuff would show up before the panels or the batteries would, is what I'm trying to get at. It's time to order them and get that part done. Okay, well, I hope you all having a big time, better tomorrow, all that, and hopefully you get the moisture that you need. Rio Grande up here is all but dry, and by the time it gets to Albuquerque, I've been told it's been running dry. So we desperately need as much snow in the winter, and we just didn't get that snowpack last year. We had a little bit more the year before, but last year we got snow. It stayed on the mountains, but we didn't get the amount that we should have. So, all right. Well, we're going to talk to you later, y'all, and I'm going to get about going over to the post office this morning. It's that time now, and I'm going to come back and get the lock nuts put on and stuff like that this afternoon. And so there we are. All right. Talk to you then.